teams that spent an awful lot of years in separate conferences. Sporting Kansas City unbeaten in the last 5 meetings, and when the Sounders win, they leave it late. 5 of their 7 victories in the series coming with goals in second half stoppage time. Brian Schmetzer, interim head coach since July of the Sounders team, and he says our success does not come by making the playoffs despite where we were. Our success comes when this organization lifts MLS Cup, and he said as far as whether or not he keeps the job, I know I can coach in this league, whether that comes here or somewhere else. I know I can. For more on the Sounders, Julie Stewart-Banks downstairs getting pelted by the rain.
Well, we've been told by the Sounders that Clint Dempsey is here in the stadium at CenturyLink to watch his team take on Sporting Kansas City. And while he has tried very hard to maintain a low profile, he is still showing support to his teammates. Brad Evans said Dempsey sent him a text message this week saying, best of luck in the playoffs, really rooting for you guys. And Evans knows it's tough for Dempsey or any player with a major injury. You want to disconnect and be able to rehab, but you also want to be around the guys. And when you're around the group, you sometimes do a little bit too much. So Evans understands why Dempsey's staying in the shadows, focusing on his rehab. But Evans said even just a text message is such a huge inspiration, and knowing that he's here, that's a difference maker.
Sporting coach Peter Vermes knows from big moments the 13th time he's been in the MLS playoffs as either a player or a coach. Tied for most amongst any of the great figures in league history like Ziggy Schmidt, Bruce Arena, or Jason Kreis. He said, doesn't matter what we've done this year. It's about coming into the Lions' den and getting a result. He said, this is a final. Time now for our Continental Tire Analyst Corner. Alexi Lawless, what's important for you?
Ooh, look at that. Just looking at that red line there on that TIFO. Very nicely done here. All right. Seattle, home sweet home. Well, we're talking about the TIFO in this environment here. That is so amazing. I mean, let's be honest, it is amazing. Have they been great here? Well, they've lost 5 times here, so it's not a fortress necessarily. But on a night like tonight, yes, it's raining. They love it. We'll see. On the other side, when you're looking at Sporting KC, is it like old times? We talked about the experience and the maturity that Peter Vermes has opted for tonight. Does that translate into a successful night?
Ismail Alfat is our referee, just 34 years of age already, his 4th year in the playoffs. He was middle of the road this year and showing yellow and red cards. And very experienced assistant referees Peter Manikowski and Corey Parker were both in the Copa America Centenario as well as the Gold Cup 2 summers ago. These are 2 teams that don't come into the season talking about making the playoffs. These are 2 teams that come into the season talking about winning MLS Cup. Sporting Kansas City did that in 2013. It is still eluded the Seattle Sounders. One of these teams will keep those dreams alive. The other will once again be ruining a missed opportunity and a long offseason. Final match of the knockout round of the 2016 MLS Cup playoffs is underway. It is the Seattle Sounders in rave green. It is Sporting Kansas City in the dark navy blue. The Sounders who pulled off the greatest escape act in MLS history, second from bottom in the Western Conference, left for dead by everyone at the end of July. That's why Ziggy Schmidt was fired. That's part of why Nicholas Lodeiro was brought in. And Lodeiro, Jordan Morris, Brian Schmetzer, the interim coach, have led them to the 2nd best record in the league since. Trying to get to that one prize that they have yet to accomplish amongst Open Cups and Supporter Shields, and that is winning MLS Cup. Sporting Kansas City on the other side. It was nothing but up and up since they rebranded as Sporting in 2011, culminating with a MLS Cup win in 2013, out in the knockout round the last 2 years since. Both games away, both games they led in the final minutes. Trying to avoid that fate for a 3rd consecutive year amidst talk that perhaps this Sporting era is ready for a change come the offseason. We see the rain coming down. We talked to both of these teams about what their expectations were. What do you expect this game to look like, Alexi?
Well, when we talked to both of the teams, they both said, oh, we want to attack, and we're not just coming in here to bunker when it comes to Sporting KC, which you could possibly expect. I don't expect either team to bunker, and certainly not Seattle in this type of environment. But I do expect Sporting KC to be smart about the situation, and at times to absorb some pressure, to open up Dom Dwyer up top and exploit that space that comes from him.
Susie. Trying to lead the Sounders out. Alvaro Fernandez. Osvaldo Alonso wearing the armband with Brad Evans, who's been bugged the last 2 months by injury on the bench. Here's Nicholas Ladero. Trying to set up Jovan Jones. First time cross from him. Almost got all the way through. Beasler got a foot in the way. Freeberg. It's away by Saad Abdul Salam. Pressure by Alonso to take it back just in front of Colin Nagamura.
So good from Alonso there. Those passing channels, just stepping up and winning the ball, and right off the bat seeing how important Ladero is getting on the ball, either just maintaining possession or hitting that killer ball like we saw a minute ago.
The tackle there by Espinoza. Back from Sonny Mustafa. It's Alonso going to ground.
Oh, so pretty from Alonso. Perfect tackle.
A high press from Sporting KC, at the very least, not letting Seattle out. Well, Nicholas Ladero has been involved in 12 goals in 13 games, a pair of game-winning assists. He has been a phenomenal presence since joining the Sounders midseason from Boca Juniors. Told us yesterday, I feel calmer, I feel stronger, I feel like I've found my place in this locker room and in this system. And he said, I've adjusted to the league a lot better. He said it was of a higher quality than perhaps I was expecting, a lot more physical than I was expecting as the game's first foul is whistled. And Ladero saying, as far as dealing with the physical play of Sporting Kansas City tonight, he said, I got to be intelligent on the ball. I'm not a big guy. I'm not going to win those physical duels, so I have to avoid the physical duels, use my intelligence and my cleverness to not get in those types of situations. Espinoza stepping in as Tyrone Mearsmith's played it. Roman Torres immediately on the scene. So again, Sporting Kansas City not letting Seattle out of their own half. Possession there. Was able to hold it up for a moment, but it petered out. Susie kept that ball in play. Nagamura. Now for Graham Susie, takes the touch inside of Jones. The pass was under hit though. Salam's header holds it in. Susie too far in front of Feilhammer.
As you mentioned, some good pressure now coming from Sporting KC. Letting Seattle out easily.
Major League Soccer on FS1 is sponsored by Audi. It's Morris trying to hold it up for Ladero. Sensinovic able to get it clear. Fernandez was trying to turn around with a mistake by Abdul Salam, allows him to do so, but Mustafa puts a quick end to that opportunity. Nagamura the return for Graham Susie. Alonso going to ground, early cross, he got it away. Easy step for Stefan Fry. For the Spanish language broadcast of this game, you can activate your SAP option on your remote. That's courtesy of Fox Deportes. Stepping in there on Jordan Morris. Well, it's awful wet. Julie, what's this field playing like down from your vantage point?
Well, of course, with this turf being wet, this is exactly what Brian Schmetzer told us was ideal for how they want to play. He said, of course, the turf makes the ball move differently. It's faster, it's quicker. That's how we want to play against Kansas City because they're going to bring the physicality. And if my team wants to take another touch, they better be prepared to pay for it.
Very much echoing what Ladero told us about the best way to deal with the physical nature of Sporting Kansas City is play faster. Than Benny Feilhammer got caught up in the face by Alvaro Fernandez. Ismail Elfat, the referee, taking a look at things and electing to blow the play dead.
Benny Feilhammer, taking it off the noggin there. His face getting a head start there on November.
Well, for as good as Nicholas Ladero has been coming down the stretch, Benny Feilhammer has actually been better. One more assist. He's been on fire since the All-Star break. He's been involved in 11 goals in 11 games, Feilhaber. In fact, he's been involved in the last 6 goals Sporting Kansas City have scored, and yet he might be playing his last game for this team as he intercepts that pass by Roman Torres. Feilhaber inside to Nagamura. He's got Dwyer to his right. He takes it himself. Fry got his body behind it, and he was able to smother up the rebound.
Well, this is great recognition from Sporting KC. Horrible pass. Benny Feilhaber jumping all over it. Well, who knows where he is next year, but he's here right now. And then this transition, lots of space opening up. Got all of it. Just right in that wheelhouse for Fry.
Feilhaber throwing his body in there to force the ball free as Belfast going to pull this back for a free kick for Sporting Kansas City. It is his 4th year with this team. He was top 3 in MVP voting last year, Benny Feilhaber, but he's out of contract, and he said there hasn't really been substantive talks with the team. He said there's interest from Israel, amongst other places, mentioned Mexico. And we asked him directly, is this going to be your last game? He said, I'm not thinking about that. We want to win. But he said, yeah, there's maybe a 50-50 chance. I'm not back with this team. So opportunity for him to make the most of whatever is left. And as we said, it's not just Feilhaber. There's been plenty of conversation, even in the local media in Kansas City, that this might be the end for some of these guys. So can that come with another MLS Cup at the end of it? Zusi was able to body off Jovan Jones, but couldn't keep that ball in play.
I like the fact that Sporting KC, Peter Vermes, has had his team come out here and not bunker. I didn't think we were going to bunker, but actually at times press and press high and win balls in good positions with that press.
That's what he said. We're coming here to play. We're coming here to win. We're not going to come here to mess around.
Again. Some of these are just unforced errors, too.
Abdul Salam opening up on the outside. Zusi took a shoulder there from Ladero as he released the pass. Advantage being played. Feilhaber knocked off the ball. Down off the ball. He's yelling at referee as well, about it. Feilhaber rolled in. It's Nagamura right in front. Fry getting the save. Rebound's going to fall to Zusi. His attempt is off the outside of the post.
Well, if there were timeouts in this type of game, Seattle needs to call one because they are all out of sorts. Giving the ball. This is a 3rd clear-cut chance. Benny Feilhaber just picking it out. Once again, Stefan Fry to the rescue. And then Zusi off the post. You're not in the regular season anymore, Seattle.
Alvaro Fernandez running with Abdul Salam. Was able to run faster than him. Morris throwing a hard shoulder there and dumping Kevin Ellis into the advertising boards. He's slow to get up. And Ellis just now a little bit of Olympus walking back into the play as Ladero is down. Mears was unable to control that.
Well, we talked about the physical nature of this matchup here. Jordan Morris throwing his body around. Just riding Ellis into the boards.
What a rookie year it's been for Jordan Morris. He just turned 22 yesterday. Said he was going to enjoy a home-cooked meal from his mom. Said his grandfather's actually from Iran, and so it's chicken kebabs. It's one of his favorite dish. But listen, at the age of 21, what did he do? Well, he took the Stanford Cardinal on his back. Won them a first NCAA title. Won the Hermann Trophy as the best player in college soccer. Went on trial to Werder Bremen in Germany before coming home to earn the biggest contract an MLS team has ever given to a homegrown player. Amidst all the hype and the expectation, amidst Obafemi Martin's leaving, amidst Ziggy Schmidt leaving, which he actually found out not in person, but he was at the homegrown game at All-Star Weekend. Amidst Clint Dempsey leaving, amidst a life alongside Alonso weaves his way through and wins a foul. That Jordan Morris on a daily basis deals with type 1 diabetes. He's had it since he was 9-year-old. Ladero took it quickly. It's going to be pulled back here as the ball was upfield. All that Jordan Morris has delivered is 12 goals, second most ever by a rookie in MLS history, and a record 6 number game winners.
Well, it's getting physical. Alonso weaving his way through. Benny Feilhaber with the forearm shiver right there.
Has been the subject of big profiles lately. New York Times, Sports Illustrated. He said he's learning to get more comfortable with it. He likes that he can raise awareness for having diabetes and for trying to be not just a spokesperson, but an example of what can be done dealing with those medical challenges on a daily basis. And now, with still no Clint Dempsey the rest of the way, his challenge, try to lead them to MLS Cup.
He lived up to the hype. At a time where we love to build them up and tear them down, sometimes they don't.
Here he comes. On the shot wide.
I think he's been under more scrutiny than had he chosen the path to Europe. I'm not saying it was one better or the other, but because of who he was, because of his national team and his collegiate experience and the fact that he was bursting on the scene, there was a lot of attention on that young man right there. And he took it in stride. I don't think he nor the club thought that they were going to put everything on his shoulders. And he's done everything they've asked of him. And he has put this team on his shoulders in terms of the scoring load. When you lose over 30 marks, like you mentioned, for Dempsey, obviously.
They told us yesterday his goal for the year was 10 to get to double digits in scoring.
He kept it quiet, and then he warmed us up.
So he got to 12. It's Nicholas Ladero. Seattle trying to take some of this momentum back after those early flurry of chances for KC. Beasler can get back to his feet quickly there. Did just stay in play despite the appeals, and Dwyer sneaking in on Roman Torres' touch.
Roman Torres has to stop giving the ball away to the team on the other side.
Susi is Nagamura making a big run inside. He's got Abdul Salam with the overlap. Susi sending in the cross. Hesitation from Fry. Dwyer was knocked a bit off balance there. Rolled on first to the loose ball. Able to prevent the corner.
Well, 15 minutes into the game here. I'll tell you what, I think from a Sporting KC perspective, you got to be real happy the way this is shaped up, the opportunities that you have, and the way those opportunities have come with your pressing. On the other side, Seattle, this doesn't look like the team that we've been following over the last couple of months in terms of the confidence and the way that they're playing.
Well, to your point, a third turnover in 15 minutes by Roman Torres a minute ago. MLS on FS1, sponsored by Continental Tires. Trying to go early to Dom Dwyer. Was very well to get that off the chest. Now the return. Torres was there that time. Espinoza. That's worth mentioning. The additions mid-season, Roman Torres was another, rejoining them at the end of August after missing almost an entire year with a torn ACL just after signing last year in the summer. And Beasler carrying forward. Feilhaber around Alonso. Slovic all the way on the left. Instead, it's inside for Nagamura. And the return from Feilhaber. Chad Marshall was there. Held in by Slovic. Defensively, but as Benny Feilhaber said, they got two massive dudes on attacking set pieces, Torres and Chad Marshall. He said, we don't even have one massive dude.
But that's what's happening here, because in the way that Sporting KC is playing, they're also limiting the opportunities that Seattle has in that end to draw fouls and to use that set piece advantage that they have.
Fantastic work by Alvaro Fernandez to intercept that pass, get back to his feet, and draw the foul. Rejoining this team mid-season. He signed here as a designated player in July 2010. He's been swapping the last few weeks with Andreas Evenschitz. Tied for the team lead in assists this year, but out with a sprained knee. Suffered a couple of weeks ago. They're getting a bit thin on the wings. That's part of why Christian Roldan is out wide on the right, because Brad Evans not fit enough to start. As the ball's going to be out before Zusi can clear it. It's part of what Seattle is hoping, if they can win tonight and keep going. Maybe Evans by the weekend can be in a starting role. Maybe even Schütz by his second leg. The conference semifinal. Brian Schmetzer told us could be out there. That ball did stay in play. Dwyer's chasing Chad Marshall. Made that look easy. As for Ladero, Ladon had tucked inside, and Matt Beasler was there. It's out for a Sporting KC throw. Kevin Ellis tried to drop that in for Dwyer, bodying up with Marshall. Zusi unable to hold it in. Abdul Salam, great work from him to help win it back. Fly from distance in the stands. But an early look from Dom Dwyer, 16 goals this year. This was an interesting point Peter Vermees brought up with us. All the 22 goals 2 years ago, down to 12 last year. And what Vermees felt was unfair pressure and not giving Dom Dwyer enough credit. A man he said dollar for dollar is the best goal scorer in the league. Well, look at the last 3 years. More than Robbie Keane, more than Chris Wondolowski. Only Bradley Ryan Phillips, who set a record for goals in a 3-year stretch. Saying this is the type of game that Dwyer lives for. He's going to kick it up a notch. Do you feel that Dom Dwyer's not been given enough credit over the last 3 years for what he's done?
No, I do not feel that Dom Dwyer has not been given enough credit over the last 3 years.
Very careful semantically there.
He has done. A little bit defensive from Peter Vermees, but you know, everyone's a victim and everybody wants their guys, and that's one thing I love about Peter. He's going to stand up for his guys as he should.
Nice play there.
It was interesting when we're talking about the salary disparity between a Dom Dwyer and other big-name goal scorers out there that either have or haven't lived up to their names or their salaries. And so I asked him, well, does Dom Dwyer deserve that? He said, well, hold on.
So you're going to pay him the $7 million Kaká's getting, and the tone changed briefly. Still looking for Morris. He's going to try to run around. Hellhaber's back there to shepherd it out for a goal kick. He's able to do so. And even Brian Schmetzer giving Dom Dwyer a lot of praise. He said the guy is a bowling ball and he chases lost causes and he makes life very difficult for our defenders.
And while I don't think that people are overly critical of that man right there, I think at times he is on an island. And that's part of the game plan, and he has accepted it, and at times doesn't get a lot of touches and certainly doesn't get the service that others consistently get at other teams. But that's the way that they play. Don't worry, Dom. You're getting plenty of love.
Ladero first to that loose ball. Waiting for support to come into the box. It's a cross away on Ellis. Freeberg was waiting for it. Sinovic was there first. Alonso, Freeberg. First there was Mustavar. It's going to slice in behind for Seattle's first goal of the night.
There we go. Here come the set pieces. So Roman Torres and Chad Marshall up from the back. Matt Beasler immediately going to the top of the box to mark Chad Marshall. And Kevin Ellis on Roman Torres.
Well, this is the strength of Seattle's. Time for the second most goals scored from set pieces this year. Sporting Kansas City, they're tied for the second fewest allowed, including just one all year from the corner. Ladero at the near post, a punch from Tim Melia. Ladero a second chance on the ball. Waiting on an extra touch, now a deflected cross. And it's going to be behind for another corner.
Well, they're making it interesting, putting it in dangerous positions. Ladero, that left foot, he wants it on his left.
Swung into the traffic of the near post. Nagamura was up for it. wet slip ball and get a long throw in. Fernandez was attacking. Romero trying to get it out of the box, can't do so. Ladero, the poke from Feilhaber. Alonso gets it wide for Mears. Forced inside by Sinovic. Freeberg sends it in the box. Torres was waiting for it. Abdul Salam was there first. And Torres dumps Espinoza to the turf to prevent any sort of a counter.
Torres caught upfield, and he knows immediately what he has to do.
Knocked off the ball by Alonso. Foul. He's had a couple of those already. In fact, yeah, Ismail Elfath is giving him the 2, 3, 4. That's the last one.
It's been a lot.
Ladero rolled in. It's Mears who cuts back the cross. Heisler flying through. Sinovic prevents the corner.
Cagier than this, but I like it. Don't get me wrong, I won't jinx it. Keep going. I think you're looking at both teams that believe they're better than the opposition.
Jones cuts inside of Zusi. Ladero, lovely flick of over. Fernandez trying to return it. Matt Beasler was the first to react. Dwyer, Mustavar running with him, and Marshall was able to knock it away. Great tackle though by Mustavar. Just to blow up whatever Seattle might have had the other way. That last year, a few of his teammates told us was maybe the most important that they had in that defensive midfield role. Haitian international was playing in Romania. But Peter Vermees picked him up. In fact, Vermees said, "We didn't watch any video. I have someone there who I trust implicitly who said, he's the man for you." Switch from Roman Torres. Fernandez battling in the air. Morris there in front of Kevin Ellis. And Morris tripped up by Ellis as he was trying to play the 1-2 with Fernandez. Free kick on the outside for Seattle.
Well, nothing complicated, nothing too pretty. Long ball in from Roman Torres. Get up with a head ball, which is what Fernandez did, and then just good work shielding and getting to that ball and doing some dirty work and taking that hit. Jordan Morris, and now you got yourself another set piece. And over the last 5-6 minutes, with what Seattle has done, it came off the other set piece. So you get these things, and then you start to get some more possession and get into a rhythm.
And again, they're giving him 3 to 4 inches each of the center backs of Kansas City against those of Seattle. It's Marshall. That came off of Dwyer. It's going to be another corner for the Sounders.
Such a dangerous ball. Just putting it up there. It doesn't matter if everybody in the stadium knows where they're going.
Take it in quickly and scrambled away. Evan Ellis has stayed down. He was the first defender in there to get a piece of it. And Ismail Elfath, as he's told to do because it is a head injury, despite the fans booing, leaves the play dead so the training staff can come out. Or perhaps not. In his 6th year as a homegrown player, one of 3 Kansas City natives of the 4 defenders on the field for Sporting tonight. Player, though, that at various times early in his career was close to being cut by Peter Vermees until getting regular opportunities late last year. And in what has been sort of a carousel of center backs this year, Iko Parr, Lawrence Olum, Nuno Cuello. When times have gotten tough and when Peter Vermees was trying to go to what he did, it's been Ellis and Matt Beasler in the lineup.
Fernandez just backing in.
And Ellis is 5'9". The Jordan Morris is much size, but when you're dealing with the 6'2" Roman Torres, the 6'4" Chad Marshall, it is a discrepancy when they're defending those Sounders set pieces. Here's Ladero now, able to dance away from Ellis. Seattle throw. out from Ladero for Jovan Jones. Deflected cross. Beasler was there just in front of Fernandez. Flag is up for offside anyway. MLS on FS1 is sponsored by Heineken. Open your world. Tomorrow night, the first World Series game at Wrigley Field since 1945. Coverage begins with the pregame show at 7 Eastern on FS1. Then Game 3 of the World Series on Fox at 7:30 Eastern. First of all, there to break that up. And now Benny Failhopper. Dwyer running in front of him, splits the center backs. Just too far for him. Was going to be able to track it down. No, it is going to be a goal kick anyway. Saw that lane open up, and Benny Failhopper can hit him. These are two of the best defensive teams in MLS this year. Sporting Kansas City, 4th best defense. Seattle, 5th best defense. Consistent goalkeepers as well, and Tim Neely and Stephen Fry. Morris finds Roldan, finds Fernandez. Back from Jordan Morris. He's onside, waiting for support. Ellis goes to ground and blocks the cross. Out for the Sounders' 4th corner of the early running.
And that all started when Sporting KC elected not to press high. And you saw Benny Failhopper screaming at Graham Zusi for not being up high. A little bit of confusion. Seattle goes down the other end.
Ladero's out, swinging Marshall up for it. It's off the line. It's a foul anyway. It wouldn't have counted. As Marshall came up over the back of Matt Beasler. Pablo Nagamura, though, it's the psychological point in clearing that one away.
Well, we've talked about it, and we'll keep talking about it probably all night. Those corners are going to be so crucial with the height advantage Seattle has.
4 goals for Marshall this year, tied a career high. It is his 33rd career game, all competitions against Kansas City. That includes a 2008 playoff series for the Columbus Crew against the Wizards. Brad Evans had the series-winning goal. In fact, only Brad Davis, amongst active players, has more games played against this Kansas City team than Chad Marshall. As Alonso rides Nagamura out wide, but Sporting able to keep it. Zusi. Espinoza making the run. Torres up to win the header. He's upset. He thought he was pushed by Dwyer. Espinoza keeping it in play. Zusi has played it, though. He had Abdul Salam out wide, and now Kansas City a man light defensively. What a tackle that is by Roger Espinoza. Zusi intercepted by Freeberg. Another hard collision. Espinoza down, holding his leg in pain. They're going to rush around the referee, Ismail Elfath. It was Osvaldo Alonso, the guilty party. Now they're all coming together. Nicholas Ladero is knocked to the turf. They're still pushing and shoving.
Well, there have been tackles flying around all game. Some legal, some not. It's the playoffs. Osvaldo Alonso sustained a tackle. He wasn't happy. And as is often the case, comes right back in. It's a foul.
It is a yellow card. Something Peter Vermees brought up with us. Said in a call Ismail Elfath didn't make 2 weeks ago in Salt Lake City when he thought Benny Failhopper was fouled, should have gotten a penalty, and Vermees said it. He's been talking with the professional referees organization on this idea that the game shouldn't be reffed any differently. If it's a red card in the regular season, it should be a red card in the playoffs. It's a yellow for Alonso. It's a free kick for Kansas City. See the fake. Failhopper the service in. It was Ellis a touch, and Fry had to react very chain reaction there with the redirected ball. Able to push it out wide for a corner.
Dueling set pieces. Just put it in a danger area and things can happen like that.
Sporting Kansas City, like Seattle, 11 goals from set pieces this year. Tied for the second highest tally in the league. Seattle's not quite as good defensively as Kansas City is. Zusi, the outswinger into the traffic. It came backwards from Marshall. Got for a throw. So Alonso still looks to be shaken up from the earlier challenge, reaching over and keeps doing this sort of with his sock and holding his leg. Speaking of going back to the old days of Sporting Kansas City, here comes a Matt Beasler long throw. Right in front. Ellis was there and shepherded out. It's a goal kick.
Let's take a look back at that Alonso situation here. On the ball. He's not happy. And he's going to come right back in. There. It's a foul. It's a yellow. And I think it's handled correctly. Now, if Peter Vermes wants his way, then maybe there would have been some extra things, because in a regular season, maybe there's some other stuff that happens in that moment. So, careful what you wish for.
Goes along the long throw. Marshall was able to track it in the air. Rolled on, dumped to the turf by Sonova because he got the touch away. Advantage being played. Faber for Ladero. Lovely touch out wide for Tyrone Mears. Fernandez and now Morris joining in. Espinoza trying to body off Mears. Able to do so. Espinoza tonight playing out of the left wing. We're used to seeing him more in the middle of the field. It's Ladero going down, no foul. So you see Jovan Jones battling in the air. Espinoza playing the spot vacated. Mentioned Brad Davis, the all-time league leaders in assists, has been battling a calf injury lately, has announced his retirement. They're hoping, they're pressing, perhaps he can play a part if they make a deep run. Espinoza in a spot. Peter Vermes told us that was where he scouted Espinoza coming out of Ohio State in the fall of 2007. He said, what I love about Espinoza, if I tell him I want you to play out there, yes, absolutely, coach, no problem.
He's a warrior. You want him on your team.
He's got big game experience. He's played in 2 World Cups, played in Olympics, won an FA Cup with Wigan. Dwyer, a little cut inside of Fernandez, lifting it in, wrong side of Nagamura, though.
Just to button it up on the referee situation. There is different refereeing in playoffs compared to the regular season, not just in soccer, in other leagues and in other sports. And there should be. There has to be. The stakes are higher. But I think it balances out, and I think it is equal for both teams. They both get the advantage and at times maybe the disadvantage.
Davis, one of the things when we were talking to Peter Vermes, he said Davis actually had a guaranteed contract for next year. So rather than just showing up and cashing his paycheck, he was honest about saying, I can't quite do it physically the way I once did. And so Vermes was full of praise for Davis and his selflessness to, by foregoing that last year of a guaranteed contract, allow that money to be used on other guys. Ladero trying his luck from distance as well wide. And amidst even news today, Connor Casey is retiring. Jack Jewsbury, Ned Grabavoy. Some very high-profile championship-winning MLS guys will be leaving this league come the winter.
Changing of the guard, and we're going to talk more about it at halftime with regards to teams in MLS that have periods of success. We're looking at one here with Sporting KC. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. We talked about Houston. Muddling through sometimes the changes and the evolution of both the team within a league that continues to change. And players that were part great moments and great times and successful times. They get older and they go away. And can you replace them?
Ball there on top, Dwyer. Don's flick finds Ladero, who returns it. Ladero again, a little turn inside, trying to play in for Fernandez. Wasn't quite ready for that ball. City trying to take air out of things a little bit.
Well, you saw that last ball there for Ladero, and we saw him hit one a little bit earlier. And it's not a situation where Seattle has tremendous speed outside when it's Roldan and Fernandez out there. And so sometimes it's a little easier for Seattle to pick it up. But all they need is that one time, and he's always looking for that ball behind the back of the defense.
Great work by Dwyer a moment ago to begin this possession from Sporting Kansas City. In chase, running with Tyrone Mears. Ball's out of play.
Sporting just going to press him over on this one side. See if they can break this pressure and get out. The answer is no.
Gives it away for a throw. Espinosa quickly back in play. Sanovic. Away from a little bit. Don, dumps him out, and Sonoma goes flying over the advertising boards. So that'd be a very dangerous situation at the Copa America Centenario this summer. So good to see Sanovic back to his feet.
Sometimes you just get going, some speed and a little nudge. Great slick up there.
Those players that was an everyday starter in that period of time, 2011 to 2013, when this Kansas City team was one of the best in the league, one of the most fearsome defenses in the league, one of the most consistent team sheets in all of MLS. And it's been a rougher go for Sanovic. He suffered a concussion last April. He's played just 15 games in the year and a half since, a bunch of different injuries this year. But back in the lineup 2 weeks ago, Eddie Fairlopper talked about how great his relationship is with Matt Beasler, how they make each other better. What's interesting, though, is that Sanovic, his 6th year in the league, his 165th game, playoffs or regular season, first time he's ever played in Seattle. Moore is handing off for Mears. Caught from behind by Fairlopper. Ladero down in a heap underneath Mustavar. Coming up on our halftime presented by Audi. Look back at the first half highlights. We're going to start talking about the AT&T goal of the year. And as Alexi said, big news in Houston right now. Dissent from current players and sort of a question mark about what the future is of that club. And more on our halftime report presented by Audi. Ellis back across for Fairlopper. Letting it fly from distance, and this wet, slick turf night. Good job by Stephen Fry getting his body behind that. It's already his 4th save of the game. Speed to it by Zusi. Alonso. Hummer went to ground but couldn't win it cleanly. Fernandez too far for Morris, but back to his feet and again off target. Sloppy.
Seattle, and this last third here, much more of a stalemate.
Phenomenal stuff from Dom Dwyer. He's going to win a free kick as well. Marshall is furious. Thought he bumped the ball cleanly. It's that bowling ball aspect of Dom Dwyer's game Ryan Schmitzer talked about. Wins a free kick for his team.
We've seen how dangerous these can be for both sides. Everyone counts. Yes, he got the ball, but in doing so, responsible for the aftermath of your challenge there.
Stephen Fry trying to get his team organized as Graham Zusi stands over the ball. Howard comes over to have a chat about it.
High line on the 18 there from Seattle.
This time faking. Zusi sends it, looking for Abdul Salam in the back post. Marshall was up for it. Held in. Nagamura pinged around. Mustavar a touch. Mears a touch. Fernandez with the pressure to win the throw.
Talk so much about Lodero, and I think that Seattle has done a good job of limiting. Sporting KC has done a good job of limiting Lodero in terms of the time he has on the ball and the amount of times he's on the ball.
As his header goes sideways, Zusi there to get it from Fernandez. They want a handball. They're going to get it. Free kick, Seattle. Assists plus the 4 goals in 13 games played for Nicholas Lodero. Big bodies are forward for Seattle. Everyone back for Sporting KC. Ismail Elfan proactively referee between Kevin Ellis and Roman Torres. 1 minute stoppage time coming up here at the end of the half. Someone land a sucker punch going into the break. Lodero sends it in, takes a bounce, flag is up. Even as Torres heads it over, he was offside.
Every single one of these, they're holding your breath. Yep.
Just Fernandez, not Torres, right?
Yep.
See if there's anything left in this half. Flicks it along Dwyer. Got a cut underneath his feet. As Kevin Ellis cleans it up for Tim Melia. As Melia slices it out. That will be the end of the first half. A lot of noise, a lot of rain, a good handful of early chances for Sporting Kansas City. But no goals through 45 minutes tonight. Well, it may seem obvious, but whereas in the regular season, maybe we're dreading this game sort of just limping along and petering out to a scoreless draw. Well, there is no such thing when it's a single elimination playoff game. The intensity is only going to ratchet up as this goes later and later. Second half underway. Rain has let off by and large. Cool temperatures, though, here in the Pacific Northwest. Someone is advancing to face FC Dallas, the Supporters Shield winners in the Western Conference semifinal. They'll play a home game Sunday night. Someone is going home and feeling like they've fallen well short of expectations this year. Flag is up for offside on Dom Dwyer. And for a Kansas City team that has fallen in this knockout round in games that they've led in the final minutes both years, for a Seattle team that went out in penalties to Dallas last year, went out on away goals to LA the year before. Good work by Roman Torres there on Feilhaber. Big stakes in these next 45 minutes and maybe more. Beasler knocking that away. Zusi steps in on Christian Roldan. Rides the challenge of Alonso. Beasler quickly. Nagamura for Dom Dwyer, not going to get there. Down to the field of Julie. We heard from Peter Vermees out of the half. What does Brian Schmetzer think of all this?
I asked Brian Schmetzer, what did you think of the first half? He shook his head and said, thank God for Stefan Fry. He said, we need to clean up our passing in the midfield, find some rhythm, find some consistency with our possession. He said, what we need to do is we need movement with our ball that needs to be faster. Think 2 to 3 passes ahead of what you're doing. He said that guys can't be so stagnant.
Throw for Dwyer to chase. Marshall nods it away, and Jovan Jones gets it clear. Sinovic forward for Espinoza, brings it down on Torres. Nagamura is making the run off Dwyer. Chad Marshall doing enough to break that up. Mustavar knocks it down. Failhaber. Espinoza crowded out. And now Eric Freeberg trying to get away from the traffic. Failhaber slipped. Freeberg wide for Jordan Morris. It's Alvaro Fernandez running into the box. Ladero up there as well. Morris driven cross, pings around. Beasler able to get it clear. Espinoza then coming over the top of Freeberg. Freeberg is holding the side of his head. Free kick for Seattle. Freeberg, who was the odd man out when Schmetzer took over, changed the formation. It had been a 4-3-3 that Freeberg was in there with Alonso and Roldan taking quickly. Kevin Ellis is there. And they changed to a 4-2-3-1 look. Freeberg went to the bench, but now they made the shuffle, moving Roldan out wide. There's a spot once again for Freeberg. He started the last 2 games of the regular season. Ladero from Alonso. Roman Torres, center back, sending it across from wide. Matt Beasler was there for it. Zusi trying to send one early for Dom Dwyer to chase. The lost causes that Brian Schmetzer said he will chase. He takes a knock to the head from Chad Marshall. And Ismail Elfaf, what he's saying is he's not blown the play dead for a foul. He's blown the play dead because of a potential head injury for Dom Dwyer. You saw Marshall's reaction. You heard the fans' reaction to what they thought was a free kick for Sporting, but isn't.
Chad Marshall just coming over. Good refereeing there. See on both sides these long balls up top, whether it's to Jordan Morris or Dom Dwyer, and then just fight it out.
3rd year for Stefan Fry in goal. He's already passed the great Casey Keller for the most saves in team history. Amongst the league leaders in shutouts this year, amongst the league leaders in goals against average. Abdul Salam misplayed that, but it fell kindly for Matt Beasler. And he's proven very durable after the last 2 years he was in Toronto. A broken ankle, leg injury, played 1 game in 2 years. And he has been a mainstay for Seattle.
Sí, ya están todos los jugadores, el choque de los 2 jugadores número 14, así que todo continúa sin ningún problema. Por cierto, Raúl, también un saludo muy especial al Apache, un hombre latino que es el fanático número 1 de KC. Es un personaje en los partidos en casa del conjunto de los ex-Wizards. Héctor Solorio, quien siempre suele viajar con el equipo, bueno, ahora no pudo porque hay boletaje total, todos son locales aquí en casa, pero el Apache seguramente con todo el grupo de animación y toda la banda del conjunto de Kansas.
In the box. As we said, 6 of his 12 goals this year, game winners. An MLS rookie record, just 1 shy of Bradley Wright Phillips for the league lead. He's trying to keep that in play on Sinovic's pressure. Failhaber. The dance away from Ladero and get it clear. Dwyer, Espinoza rides the challenge of Freeberg, gets inside of him, wins a free kick.
Oh, and he's lucky this isn't a yellow because Espinoza turns him and he's got a lot of space and they are off to the races.
Ellis charging forward. Away, but it was behind Abdul Salam. It's a second half that 6 minutes in is waiting for a spark. Feilhaber also stepped in from behind. Freeberg, a hard challenge on Nagamura. Free kick for Sporting Kansas City.
Well, everything is being contested here, as it should be. And Freeberg goes right over the ball there. That's a foul.
Fans are howling because they felt that Tom Dwyer just rolled that ball a little bit further forward after he swept away the spray foam with his hand. He saw that little cheeky smile. He knew he was gone.
Don't touch the foam.
I remember you doing a segment in studio that it had all sort of crazy chemicals in it.
Yes, we did. Dr. Joe had some on hand. Yeah, it's amazing what's in it.
Feilhaber sends us into the traffic. A free header from Matt Besler, but a flag is up. He thought he had scored the opening goal, and as he was wheeling away to celebrate, Corey Parker on the far side stopped him cold.
Take a look again. Ooh. Real close, but he's off. Well done.
He's not scored in any of his 12 playoff appearances in his career. Matt Besler wins that header, though. Scored once this year. Was a late winner at home against Columbus. Here comes Jovan Jones. Abdul Salam able to slide in and play it out. In for Ladero. Well, Fernandez got a touch. And in fact, the last touch, yes, that ball is out for a goal kick. Well, it's been an up and down year for Matt Besler. The ups have included a first ever goal for the United States on the same day that his daughter was born, back in September. The lows have included a concussion, which he told us in the spring was one of the scariest things he's ever been. And he said, if I hurt my knee or something, I sort of know what it is, how long I'm going to be out. In the end, it was only a few weeks with a concussion. But not only has Besler played his fewest amount of games since 2010, 6 times this year he was just left on the bench, healthy, available, but not in the lineup. We talked to both he and Peter Vermees about it as Feilhaber cleans out Osvaldo Alonso, and having already received a warning for persistent infringement.
Yep, here it comes.
He gets a second one.
Ooh, lucky. That's it. The last get out of jail free card.
Sí, Ismail, el FAT demasiado enfático, por eso también confundidos los entrenadores ahí diciendo, bueno, pues la vas a sacar o no, porque están totalmente confundidos. Y ahora sí, sacando el carácter Brian Schmetzer, quien nos dijo en la entrevista de medio tiempo que no le había gustado el medio campo. Bueno, le están comiendo otra vez la posición y dando la indicación a sus jugadores que abran el partido, que se apoyen en las bandas.
Dwyer. Espinosa through traffic deflected out for a Kansas City corner. Besler said at the end of the day, I trust him, he trusts me. It's about going out and playing.
Let's take one more look back again at that offside goal. Just a little bit, a hip, maybe a hip.
And we'll come forward for this second corner of the game for Sporting Kansas City. Feilhaber stands over it. To the near post, and he'll do it again. Again going near post, stooping low as Fernandez to head it away. Seattle's going to escape. Nagamura couldn't hold it in. Ladero, well, he saw Tim Melia way off his line. Mustavar got a foot in to deflect it. Freeberg first to the loose ball. Ladero on Sinovic. Goes to nutmeg, got pulled back. Free kick on the outside. Mustavar, the guilty party. Abdul Salam, rather. The guilty party on the foul. kick for Seattle. We saw Failhaber with 2 unsuccessful services in quick succession. Now his counterpart, Ladero. Outswinger Torres was there.
These set pieces, I know I sound like a broken record, but on both sides, and each and every time there's opportunities, clear-cut opportunities. I mean, he is in.
He's yet to score in what is now his 15th appearance, all competitions for the Sounders. And will be heading over 100 appearances for his country as they go into the Hex in a couple weeks. Don able to bring it down, able to find his best friend Jordan Morris. Mears clipping along for Morris. Beasler rising up. Roldan and Sinovic in a collision. Roldan slow to get up. Ladero trying his luck from distance, and that was always slicing well wide. Major League Soccer on FS1, sponsored by Advocare, the official sports nutrition partner of MLS. Tim Melia, comeback player of the year in MLS last year, a career that wound its way through the Rochester Rhinos, a backup at RSL and Chivas USA. He was the league's pool goalkeeper in 2014. Got the starting job last May. Suffered a head injury in the second half of the knockout round game in Portland last year. In the 68th minute, he argued a long argument with the trainer, with Kevin Ellis, and Matt Beasler stayed out for about 15 more minutes before finally coming off. It was John Kempen, his backup that night, who was in the shootout, who had his attempt saved in the final round before Adam Quaresay, Portland's goalkeeper, won it. Fry there to get it. Had been the consistent starter. If you remember, we did the game in July at home to Portland. He was scratched the day before with back spasms. Revealed since they were bugging him for a month. He finally got his chance to start. He didn't want to give it up. And he missed 6 consecutive games before returning in September. Still has put up amongst the best statistics of regular starting goalkeepers in the league this year. He's yet to be called upon to make a save, but you know that's coming. The final half hour, one of these teams need to do to get this thing going a little bit.
Well, you're looking at a Seattle team that has had opportunities. We know they're coming from set pieces. So, do you make a change on either side because you feel you can put somebody in the run of play that can help you? Because there's not a whole lot going on in the run of play. And with the recognition that
slow to get up.
If it stays tied, we continue on. So you don't want to do it too early.
Torres again trying for that long switch ball for Alvaro Fernandez. Morris back to it. Roldan calling for it. Has it now. Freeberg to his right. Mustavar came to meet him. Diving header from Ellis.
Seattle, do you have anybody on the bench that's better? Hercules Gomez, that's not going to solve your problems. Nelson Valdez,
a calming presence, but 2 goals in total in a year. Presence in the words of Brian Schmetzer. There's a reason Brad Evans said if we had Clint Dempsey, this stuff would be a no-brainer for us right now. The success we've had in our sense of confidence going into the postseason. And you heard Julie's report pregame. He is somewhere here in the building tonight, having not played since August with an irregular heartbeat. There's Benny Failhaber running away from Ladero. Playing across for Zusi. Abdul Salam flying forward. Zusi blocked by Marshall. Corner kick number 4 of the game for Sporting Kansas City on the way. line. His outswinger. Body's flying. Sesanovic setting it up. Sesanovic saved by Fry. Has not scored a goal in 6 years of regular season play. Sesanovic has 2 in the playoffs, and he went close to a third here.
And this just falls nicely for him on that nice left foot. Sets it up. And hammers it. And he had only a couple of seconds before talked to the sideline.
Swinger again from Zusi. Alonso up to head it away. Sesanovic trying to hold it in on Freeberg. Can't do so. Ladero trying to lead the counter. Crucial touch by Feilhammer.
Sesanovic had turned to the sideline and made the sign for either he needed tape or he needed a substitution, but he looked fine on that one.
Every minute of the playoff campaigns for 4 years, including the MLS Cup win in 2013. Sesanovic, before all his injuries started to get the best of him. He scored in the second leg of the Eastern Conference Championship 2012 and scored against his former team, New England, in the conference semifinal round in 2013. Mears upended. And Sesanovic has gone down to a knee afterwards. A yellow card.
Sesanovic just very late to this. Gets that card. Maybe more importantly, it's a foul and another set piece opportunity for Seattle.
Mears trying to give Ladero an option down the line. Ladero swung in.
Waste. Gotta clear that first guy.
Mears loads up the throw. Zusi there to help it away. Rolled on. Back out wide for Mears. Now the return. Roldan checks the shoulder. Can he get the ball under control? Feilhammer there. It's going to be a Kansas City throw. Christian Roldan can't believe it. Neither can 36,000 of his friends here in Seattle. With the header, Espinosa first to react, although Ladero's going to be on the end of it. Alonso picks it up. Abdul Salam running with him. Zusi over to help. Deflection, Ladero. Jovan Jones swinging it in. Morris let it go. Flag's going to come up, and what the assistant referee Peter Manikowski is going to say is that Morris impeding Sesanovic from an offside position made him active, even though he didn't get on the end of the cross.
Well, the folks here don't like the AR right now. That's the play. And he's standing right there, so he's got a clear eye on it, but it looked like it came off of Benny Feilhammer.
Julie, what are you hearing down for the benches?
Well, both of these coaches' demeanors couldn't be more different right now. Peter Vermees has been calm and cool, sort of an anomaly from what we've seen this season, while Brian Schmetzer's been extremely frustrated. He just kicked the glass as hard as he could not long ago, and I've just been listening in, trying to figure out, but they are trying to make somewhat of a formation change. It looks as though they want Eric Freeberg higher and Nico Ladero more on the wing, but still trying to figure out what the latest is.
Well, that was where they started this year, with Ladero out wide, Clint Dempsey in the middle. Maybe has dropped back in alongside Osvaldo Alonso. That's what Schmetzer told us in Vancouver a couple weeks ago was a huge part of the success they'd had, was the relationship between Roldan and Alonso. I think that Roldan was a better option out wide without Brad Evans. Stepping in, and Espinosa wins a free kick. That's one of the questions for Seattle has been see Brad Evans. He's available. Some minutes, and the question is how many, and how much can you risk the game going to extra time? How far can he go? Ladero got it over the first man this time. Melia colliding with Ellis, able to get a good solid punch. Alonso picks it up. Here's now, away by Sanoa. That was Nagamura doing all that hard running. Alonso urged to shoot, goes wide for Torres, for Jones. Ladero. Susi trying to track him down, right foot across. Melia got a paw on it. Sinovic was just able to carry the ball out. And now rolling ahead, Feilhaber. Alonso got him in his sights, got a piece of him. Osvaldo Alonso is already on a yellow card. Ismail Elfath is conferring with Ricardo Salazar, the fourth official, is being surrounded, not for the first time tonight, by Sporting Kansas City players. Feilhaber is down prone on the turf. Less calm now than he was a few minutes ago. The only indication we've seen from Elfath is that for a throw-in.
And this happens right in front of the fourth official. I'm okay with it. Okay with it. I don't think it was reckless. I don't think it was careless. Everybody saw it coming, including, most importantly, Benny Feilhaber.
Feilhaber is still down. The trainer is still standing over him. Now the players are coming in with some pushing and shoving.
It's not without discussion, and it's not without controversy in 2016. Back in the day, they wouldn't even stop the game.
Of greater concern, perhaps, than the referee's decision is the condition of Benny Feilhaber.
And this is where Peter Vermes is going to once again argue that if it's going to be a foul or a card in the regular season, then it should be in the postseason too. Because I have no doubt that that would have been called in the regular season differently than it has just been called there.
Now we saw Eric Freeberg talking to Brian Schmetzer, then come over, get in the ear of Osvaldo Alonso. At the very least, the message probably for Alonso is, got to be careful there. You're on a yellow card and he's come flying through. Back on the field, clipped ahead for Jordan Morris. He's onside. Roldan played him in. Morris the spin, the cross took a deflection. Sinovic up with the header. And Susi first and loose ball only as far as Alonso. That's up over the bar. And boy, Benny Feilhaber going berserk right now. And Ismail Elfath, he's having to be pushed away by Graham Susi.
He's angry, he's irate, but he doesn't look hurt.
That's, I think, the most demonstrative I've ever seen a player react to a referee, particularly that it came after the actual incident. And Ismail Elfath, give him credit right now. He's keeping his cool as all this is going on. He's conferring with his assistants. He'll show the yellow card to Feilhaber. Well, we said this game needed a spark, Alexi Lalas.
No goals, but plenty of action.
Place your bets on whether this game is going to finish 11-11. Get that away. Beasler does. the chest for Mears. Just able to keep that ball in play. Roldan finding Alonso, trying to get away from Mustavar. Out wide for Morris. A lot of numbers in the box for Seattle. Morris has crossed the block back to Salam. Staying in play. Dwyer on a dead sprint with Marshall. Ladero is onside. He's first out. Loose ball. Kansas City was trying to press up, and Sinovic clears it away just in front of Freeburg. Salam able to knock it away. Nagamura playing out wide for Susi. Dwyer making his way into the box. Susi roll back in. Nagamura just beyond him. Roman Torres there.
Susi's got to make that pass.
Is out muscled by Alonso.
Nagamura's in.
Espinoza fizzed across. Susi has to track back to keep it in play. Gets away from Roldan, trying to set up Dwyer. It's going to get back to him. Torres on the scene. Susi charging in. And Seattle able to get it clear. Now Ladero the other way. Mustavar on top of him, gets it away from Morris. Ellis can't do enough. Morris is onside. Fernandez in the middle. No, it's going to be a foul. Back behind the play. Ismail Elfath whistling a foul against Jordan Morris.
Jordan Morris. I mean, that looked like Ellis was going to the ground before he even felt the pressure. Each and every time he touches the ball.
Yeah, you don't need me to say his name for
I love it. I love it. Careful. Don't rile him up.
Seattle starting to pass a little bit higher up there, and then a foul. Just about to the final 15 minutes, at least of normal time. We'd have extra time, of course, if it remains tied. The better teams, certainly for Seattle, scoring goals. The space for Sinovic. Sinovic first time cross. Susi headed over.
Well, Feilhaber, who's been such a part of this game, is asking for the ball each and every time. He's got to be on his best behavior, but he can hit those beautiful balls. And you can boo him all you want. But if you rile him up, he can make that killer pass.
MLS on FS1, sponsored by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Here's Trice able to keep it on Feilhaber's pressure. Roldan just got the pass away. Sinovic doing enough on Fernandez. Dwyer in a wrestling match with Roman Torres, wins a free kick. We mentioned how late these teams tend to keep it. Half of Kansas City's goals in the series history in the final 30 minutes. Seattle 10 of their 13. 5 times the Sounders have beaten Kansas City in second half stoppage time. And only once in all of their meetings in MLS play has it been a multi-goal victory. That was the 3-0 Kansas City put on Seattle, the final game of Ziggy Schmidt's tenure back in July. It also includes a penalty shootout in the 2012 U.S. Open Cup final after a 1-1 90 and then 120 minutes that Sporting Kansas City was able to prevail in. Ramsey on the turn. Feilhaber, Fernandez closing him down, forces the errant pass. Step by Abdul Salam. Nagamura able to get away from Alonso. Nagamura has a couple different options with him. Marshall knocks the pass away.
Well done by Christian Roldan to get back there and just stick his foot in.
Jordan Morris. Didn't find what he wanted. Just hands back to Alonso. He'll send it across for Eric Freeberg. Tyrone Mears further outside. Sanovic decision to make. Can he close it down? Mears sends in the cross. Melia stays at home. Mostovar knocks it down. Espinosa partially clear. Tom was battling, got inside of Feilhaber, couldn't come away with the ball. Torres knocks it away from Dwyer. Nelson Valdez about to come on for Seattle for Eric Freeberg. First roll of the dice from either coach, and Dwyer draws the contact from Fernandez. As we mentioned, has struggled to score. It's actually 3 goals in 38 games, all competitions for Nelson Valdez since joining last August. But Brian Schmetzer said he brings a calling presence. This guy's played World Cups. He's played in big games. And he's on for Eric Freeberg now. Back and play quickly from Kansas City. Dwyer weaving through, tripped up on top of the ball. Valdez's first touch, left it behind him. Feilhaber. Inside, pass 1, pass 2, pass a 3rd, Feilhaber saved by Fry, cleared away. Well, that would shut him up. 6th save of the game for Stefan Fry. Roger Espinoza backing off him, he lets it fly. There's the 7th stop.
Well, this is a fun 0-0 game right now. I'm nervous. Benny Feilhaber just weaving. Can't get that toe poke to the far post.
Hockey, the kids call that dangles. It was a kick save and a beauty from Stefan Fry as Valdez wins a free kick for the Sounders. 10 minutes to go.
This is great, back and forth, and I don't think either one of these teams looks at, okay, let's shut it down and get to 90. I think they both feel there's a goal in it for them.
Nicholas Ladero fires it in. Dwyer was up for it. Ladero first to the loose ball. Roldan lobs it in. This was blocked off. If Feilhaber gets it away for Roldan. Here comes Sporting Kansas City. Nagamura leading him out. Alonso just stood him up. Pass by Beasler, intercepted by Morris. Valdez got it away for Ladero. For Mears. Here's wide for Ladero. Feilhaber right on top of him. Out in front of the assistant referee. Just going to be a throw. Again for Alonso. Roldan. Ruben Jones. Fernandez. He's around defending him. Hands off for Ladero. Sinovic, tangle of legs, free kick Seattle.
He baited him in. Just when Sinovic thought they had an opening to put his foot in to get that ball. This one, Ladero just closed it up, took the hit.
This crowd of 36,000 plus, if they're not already standing, are coming to their feet right now. Ladero swung in, flicked along back post, Roman Torres, and it's out wide. And concern for Torres and for Tim Mealy, a training staff being called out by Ismail Elfath. Well, I think it's going to take a lot more than just a goalpost to take that man down.
Ouch, but how do you miss this? Wow, I mean, that is a golden opportunity. Left foot, smash it in the back. And of course, comes off. Seconds.
Tim Mealy is still no saves that he's had to make tonight. 7 for his counterpart, Stefan Fry. Reverses for Espinoza, couldn't get around Tyrone Mears. Valdez, Fernandez, gonna hold it up. Down the line for Nelson Valdez. Morris in the middle, Ladero charging in as well. Valdez cutting back the cross, no one there. Pass there, Sinovic under pressure. Just hacks it away. Susie's touch though, well brought down by Nagamura. He's being pressured. Ramsusi running at Jovan Jones. Roldan helping as well as Alonso. In for Failhummer. Alvaro Fernandez on him. Dwyer, he holding up on Torres. No. Espinoza wanted nothing to do with Roman Torres there. Kept backing off and backing off on the 50-50. Able to win the ball anyway. Preparing to come on for the Seattle Sounders. Alvaro Fernandez is limping and holding the back of his left leg in the middle of the field as Failhummer trying to split the double team. Stefan Fry there just in time. Alvaro Fernandez is waving at referee Ismail Elfath.
Yeah, he's done.
Suffered a strained hamstring in the opening minutes of our game in Vancouver at the beginning of the month. Missed a game against Houston. Returned just as Andreas Ivanchitz went down. Well, here comes Brad Evans. From their expansion draft in the fall of 2008. One-time MLS Cup winner, I should say, back with Columbus, 10th year in the league, his 21st playoff appearance. His team's captain, who's been limited at just about a half hour in the last 8 games. With a series of injuries, we also saw him come off the bench, score a goal, then get sent off in Vancouver. Out jumping, Roldan, Alonso there to close him down. Brad Evans, who described this year as the straw that broke the camel's back. He said this group has needed the rah-rah that Brian Schmetzer gave him. He said, we don't want this opportunity to slip away. We've got back in the playoffs. We've got a home game. It's a sigh of relief to make it, but we have more goals than just winning this one game. Quickly to Julie, what are you hearing from downstairs?
Well, talking with Seattle assistant coach Ante Razov, he said Brad Evans knows what he needs to do here. He needs to keep the ball, bring balls in, and they felt that Alvaro Fernandez was feeling a little bit too tired, cramping up. But for Brad Evans, he's an X factor. He said we need to get a goal within regulation.
I wonder how much the psychology plays in for teams that went out in penalties last year. Short rest, they've got a game coming up. Whoever wins this with Dallas on Sunday at home, trying to to get it in the 90 minutes. Evans, bring that ball with him. 2 subs made for Seattle, none. Still so far for Sporting Kansas City. Morris, Valdez, Alonso. It back from Mears. Mears will loft it instead. Moves Tavares there. Alonso thought about it first time. He's scored from there plenty of times in his career. Mears sending in the cross. Beasler tracking the whole way, only as far as Jovan Jones. Takes the touch on Zusi. Fires it in front. Valdez was there and it turned in! The man that has struggled time and time again to turn opportunities into goals comes big in the biggest moment.
Of course, it had to be. Jovan Jones just getting around, doesn't have to beat the player. And who's there? Valdez. How does that feel? Well, that says it all. The pressure of scoring goals, and this pressure when you don't score goals, even more so. But that could be huge. And a credit to Brian Schmetzer. We heard Julie say they wanted to go for it. And he made the changes that have resulted in the goal.
And now Sporting Kansas City have 60 seconds plus whatever stoppage time Ismail Elfath gives them to avoid a third consecutive defeat in the knockout round. And the man who scored in last year's knockout round, the Wild 3-2 win over LA, who said his chances kept coming. He had wide open nets. He had balls sitting on his feet that he couldn't score. He said, I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep trying. I don't know any other way. Substitution for Kansas City. They're going to bring Jimmy Madronda on for Seth Sinovic. Madronda had been starting much of this year at left back, an attacking player by trade. Beasler misplays it out. 4 minutes stoppage time still left in this one.
Let's take a look at the goal that could be the difference. I tell you what, I think he's off.
He looked more offside than Beasler did.
Yep.
On the one that Beasler had chopped off.
He's not going to care. Neither are any of the people in this house tonight. But he's off.
Kansas City last year in Portland got a late goal from Kevin Ellis in regulation to force extra time. Can they do it again? Nagamura from Ellis plays it out wide for Abdul Salam. Failover still being booed with every touch. Jacob Peterson trying to get on. Preparing to sub into the game. Madronda hooking in the cross. Fry stays at home. Marshall plays it along. Abdul Salam there in front of Roldan, just trying to shepherd it out for a throw. Are they going to play the sub now? Yes, they will. They call this man the answer. Jacob Peterson, a career year in his 10th year in the league. He's going to replace Paulo Nagamura for the final 3 minutes of this match to try to keep his team's season alive. The captain, the face of this team, preparing the long throw. In it comes, Fry waiting for it, he's got it. Tom Dwyer counting with his fingers right now. Stephen Fry, the rules rule says 6 seconds. It's very rarely enforced. Gets it away. Valdez, the tackle there on Ellis. He's going to be slow to get up. Valdez appears to be hurt. The 32-year-old from Paraguay began his professional career as a 16-year-old, such that you could call it that. He actually lived in his team's stadium. He was from the suburbs, or I should say from the outskirts. His family didn't have a lot of money. He lived in the stadium. It's all he could afford. Espinosa shown yellow there. A year later, he's on to Germany. He's played in the World Cup, has underperformed here in Seattle, but he has the winner as it stands. Unless Kansas City can do something about it. Dwyer's cross blocked by Alonso. Salon will get it backwards for Beasler. Tim Mealy is at midfield. 60 seconds away. Espinosa lifting it in. Peterson tracking. Marshall up to get it. One last chance. Beasler will come to get it. That's been one of the constants of this Sporting era. Matt Beasler, long throws to create goals. In the 4th minute of stoppage time, it's away by Valdez. It's as far as Failhaber. Espinosa back out wide. Beasler brings it down. Beasler lofts it in. Fry through traffic has got it. The Seattle team left for dead by the entirety of Major League Soccer in July. 9th place in the West, the worst record that anyone has ever had through 20 games, to still make the postseason. They pulled off the great escape just to get to the postseason. As Roman Torres heads it up in the air, as Brad Evans takes it down and plays it off of Failhaber's face. Have they kept it alive? Have they set up a 3rd consecutive year with FC Dallas in the Western Conference semifinal? Is Nelson Valdez the hero on this night? Is Brian Schmetzer continuing his legend and his campaign to be the full-time head coach? There is the final whistle. The Sounders have done it.